All right, joining us now, Alamogordo girls basketball coach Fernie Sanchez, and he's brought a few players along with him. First of all, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Happy to have you here. You want to introduce these ladies you brought with you this morning?
I'm not sure I do,
No,
but
okay.
I will. We brought Audrianna Chenault, Kristyn, Archuleta, and Carina, Baca.
Ladies, how are you?
Good.
Good. Glad to hear that. Well, Coach, coming off, I don't know, how would you assess last year for you? You guys started off really hot, and then you guys had an unbelievably tough schedule down the stretch. How would you assess last season?
You know, I think that's a big thing to understand. I think last year we beat the teams we were supposed to beat. I think first and foremost we look at it and say, wow, you know, it was a tough end, but our district is so tough. And then the end of our schedule, you know, we played the eventual state champion, Cibola. We played a team that was one possession away from being in the Final Four in Valley. Mayfield, who was in the Final Four twice. Cruces. I mean, that was the end of our schedule. You know, we didn't play a cupcake schedule. You know, when we played the easy part of our schedule, we won. So I was actually very happy with the results in those games. Of course, you want to win more games. You don't want to end. You know, we had a lot of things going on, not just with the tough schedule, but you know, losing an important part of our program and Coach James last year too, and playing through that. So to be honest, I was extremely proud of our girls and how they persevered through all the things that they experienced last year and the way they grew. So I was actually very happy with last season.
We'll start with you, ladies. I mean, in terms of last year, you know, Audrianna, we'll start with you. I mean, what did you think you learned from last season that you can maybe apply to heading into this year?
Definitely, like, growing up, mentally-wise, it wasn't so much, like, the basketball side of it. It was just growing up mentally because, you know, like we said, everything that we've been through, you still have to go on the court and fight just like he'd want you to, you know? And so, yeah, like, I learned a lot of new things, like, for basketball, you know, dribbling, shooting, improved my shooting a lot. But it's just overall mentally maturity.
Yeah. Kristyn, I mean, for you, obviously, we've seen your progression. You've been out there since you were an 8th grader, and now this is your senior year. First of all, can you believe that it's your senior year already?
No.
Are you ready for it to be your senior year?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, actually.
Okay.
I feel pretty good.
What do you feel? I mean, the things that you felt like you've learned over the last number of years. I mean, what do you think you can apply heading into your senior year now?
I've definitely learned how to be smarter with how I play because when I was an 8th grader, all the coaches ever told me was, get ball, go basket. I'm like, oh, that works. But as I've gotten older and I've become a leader, I really had to know what I'm doing, know what I'm going to do with other people, and really be able to lead them to what I want them to do and stuff. So.
All right. And Carina, I mean, you're going to see a lot more playing time this year. Would that be fair to say? I mean, we saw you out there a fair amount last year, but as a senior, you know, you're going to have a lot of opportunities this year. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think Coach is expecting of you? I mean, tell us a little about what he's looking for you from this season.
I think he's looking for me to be more of a leader and, like, just to show myself that I can be, like, a lot better than what I've shown in the past.
All right. Is that what you're expecting from Carina this year?
Oh yeah. I think we've been very clear with them in our expectations. I know the girls, we push them hard. By all means, I don't think until people have been in their shoes realize the amount of push we give them. You know, but we're also very honest with them. We're very honest on where they stand and what we expect and what we need. You know, the one that probably has the craziest expectations are Chris. You know, when you've been a 4-year varsity player going into your 5th year, you know, sometimes you tell her things like, well, yeah, you got to do that. No, yeah, you got to jump over the mountain. You know, you can't climb it. And she'll be like, really? And I'll be like, yeah. You know, that expectation for you has gotten to that point. You know, with Audrianna, you know, just how hard she works, she sets a tone for everybody. And so she can never take a play off. Because if she does, I mean, it affects everybody, you know. And Carina knows she's got to step up and play better this year, and she can. You know, we're not putting expectations on the girls either that we don't think they can reach. You know, but we want to keep setting the bar higher and higher. And with a lot of seniors, you know, I actually don't have to correct as much. I know they probably don't feel like I'm taking it easier. But you don't. You end up becoming more detail-oriented, and so you almost become a little bit more nitpicky. But that's what you want to be. As a coach, you want to get to that point where you're now, you know, you're picky about, you know, 1 foot over more. You know, you're not trying to just get them in the general area. And they don't realize it. We're calling plays that we haven't practiced in months, and they're actually able to execute them fairly well. But that's because they're experienced. They understand the expectations, and they really do set a good tone for all the other kids in the program. So they know what the expectations are for them.
Coach is still really intense in practice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Has it changed at all over the years, or is it pretty much the same?
It's been the same.
All right. I would ask you, watching Kristyn progress from being an 8th grader on up, how do you view that as a coach?
It's exciting and it's sad all at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that to them, but it's exciting to watch any kid grow. Most of these girls, don't realize I watched them play as 8th graders, even though we moved Chris up. But I watched them play. I watched them do things as freshmen, as sophomores, as juniors, as seniors. It's not like you just look at the varsity. When I think a lot of times as a head coach, you're planning for the future. You're trying to decide what's going on. But you take someone like Chris, she should leave as the all-time leading scorer in Alamogordo history. We're hoping a couple games in, 32 points shy of that record right now, and that's a huge accomplishment. But the things she's done for our program go beyond that. It's not just the point total, it's the rebounding, it's the leadership, it's actually being probably one of the most enjoyable people to be around, and she kind of keeps the mood even at practice, because I can be pretty intense. And so watching her mature and learning how to when and not to use that to me is the most impressive part, because it's a maturity thing. It's not, she can shoot better layups now. It's seeing her be a leader. Those are the things that are most exciting. Watching Audrianna's game, it's probably the hugest difference from when they started to where they are now. Those are the things as a coach you'll remember. You'll remember where they started, where they got. Obviously Kristyn was very talented when we got her, and so the talent growth was there. But someone like Audrianna, from the way she used to play early on in our program, she used to be like a wrecking ball, and now that she can score and shoot and she can do so many more things, those are the best parts about being a coach. Not just the one special kid or the two special. It's every kid that makes that difference and that change.
Yeah. Audrianna, you're laughing over there a little bit. How would you compare your game from when you first started in his program to where you are now?
Well, considering whenever I first came here, they expected me just to run up and down the court and chase the ball. And now I'm like dribbling and shooting, so it's a
doing
huge
all those other
improvement.
things in the game.
Playing basketball, it's nice to see that improvement.
Yeah, I'm sure it has to be, to see your game completely start to round out. For both of you, you're both coming out of, Kristyn, you're coming out of volleyball, Audrianna, you're coming out of soccer. I always wonder, does that help coming out of another sport, moving into basketball? Does that help you guys at all, or is it just different?
Well, for the first week of practice, I'm hyperventilating the whole time, because volleyball isn't exactly a running sport, so it takes a little bit to get used to that, but it does help with my jumping, and that's about it. Just jumping.
It's just they're so different in terms of sports. Audrianna,
Yeah.
I'm sure that the cardio is somewhat similar, or is it a little bit of difference? No?
No, I feel like I'm still dying in practice.
Okay.
Because, soccer you run a lot, but it's just a jog most of the time. Basketball is a full-on sprint all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And Carina, is it basketball is your only sport, or what else are you involved in?
Well, I'm doing basketball now, but I might be doing softball. Maybe.
Maybe.
I hope she does.
She's on the verge.
I hope she does. I hope one of the messages we get across to all our younger kids is to be multi-sport athletes. I think it's something that sometimes at the lower levels we're not pushing it well enough, and you see all these new club organizations coming up, and now it's year-round this, year-round that, and I kind of hate it. I really do. I think it's horrible. I think pushing kids below their junior year to specialize is the worst idea we've ever had as a community. We need to be pushing multiple sports. We need to be pushing kids to do multiple things, because Chris doesn't realize, she's right, she feels like it was just the jumping, but the reactionary stuff in volleyball is probably harder than the reactionary stuff in basketball, because everything's so quick. The movement and putting herself in the right position in volleyball, definitely translate into defensive position in basketball, sliding over to the right spot. And Audrey says the jogging, but in soccer the instincts and the angles they take are great on defense. So you tend to find soccer players are better defenders than people coming out of other sports. The hand-eye coordination in softball, you can't there's certain things that doing multiple sports really rounds out the athlete. And, the older I get, the more I look into things. Looking at Ohio State, 94% of all their football players are multi-sport athletes. And Urban Meyer, in fact, one of his first questions he always asks recruits is, what other sports do you play? Because he wants to know that they're well-rounded. And those are things that are important, and I think we need to push that. I push the girls to play other sports. And Chris forgets she's also a state champion. She won the javelin last year. I mean, that's one of the most, to me, that's one of the greatest things about athletes, young kids, that we need to promote more and get them to do multiple things.
That's right. You kind of picked up the javelin in your spare time a little bit, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
That was very unexpected.
And you, javelin program with the girls program, a bunch of girls are very competitive in that. It was you and it was, I'm trying to think who else was competing with you last year.
Taylor Bowman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The two of you were kind of going back and forth there most of the season. So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to. Are you going to do that again this year?
I am. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's something exciting to look forward to. Obviously, we're looking towards basketball. They've obviously talked about first week of practice. Obviously, a lot of conditioning and getting things back going again. How would you assess the first week and a half of practice or so from these ladies?
The first week conditioning, no. I think yesterday and Monday's conditioning was probably better. We've already scrimmaged. We scrimmaged Saturday, so first week of practice probably didn't include as much conditioning as I wanted to. Just trying to get us ready and be ready for the scrimmages, try to put in just enough to survive. I'm actually pretty happy. I said this to the girls, and I have said it. I've been a little bit happier with our progression, but it comes in the chemistry. I think this year's chemistry is better than it's ever been in my time here. The girls, they can get feisty with each other, but
but
it's
you
good.
like that though.
Yes, I do. We're competitive and we're aggressive. But they've managed to make it matter. Being mean and being feisty just to be that way, it doesn't work. And so we've kind of adopted a theory. It's called one. We need to go in as one. We need to work out as one. We need to have one goal. We need to take it one game at a time. One possession at a time. And the chemistry with them makes that perfect. Just the way they get along, and they go at each other. Make no excuse. There's some people that are flying and falling and rolling, and I haven't had the chance to call Carina the mop this year. Last year, a couple of years ago, I used to call her the mop because she was always on the floor. And but they're so competitive, and just her strength has gotten a lot better. So now she doesn't fly everywhere. She pushes back, and it's just great. It's fun. I like when people are flying all over the floor. I like it when bodies are being thrown. I like it when people come out sore and they're hit because they're going hard. Teams that don't go hard, they don't come out with that. The bad news is sometimes when you go hard, you develop some injuries.
Yeah. Karina, how would you talk about the chemistry of this group? You're one of the seniors. We got 8 seniors this year?
I don't know.
There's a lot.
There's
a lot of seniors in this team. How would you talk about this chemistry? You all seem to get along pretty well. That'd be what
I think it's like the best it's ever been. It's like really good. We all flow really good together, and it's good.
How important is chemistry? How important to be able to like that person that you're looking across the floor at, or you're playing out there with the other 4 that you got out there?
It's like really needed, because when you don't get along with someone, it's like hard to want to play with them. It's hard to want to associate with them. But when you trust that person you're playing with, it's just so much better.
Go ahead.
No, that was good.
Okay. All right. And trust is a key word. No, is really important when you're out there on the floor, isn't it?
Yes, it is. They trust that I'm going to yell at them. I trust that they're going to get mad at me. No, you know what?
They don't take you that seriously from that. If you yell at them, it doesn't hurt anybody's feelings or anything.
It hurts the freshmen's feelings.
Yeah.
But at this point, you guys are used to it, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They get over it. I think part of it too is they understand. We did have a moment. I will say that Karina and I earlier on this off season where I yelled at her and I blamed her. And she, you develop trust, and she's got to develop it too, but her coming back later and saying, I had no idea why you were yelling at me. But what she didn't realize is it was great that she took the criticism there, and she still went about her business and did her thing, and there's a trust there. But her to be able to trust me to come back later and say, hey, I didn't know what you meant, and I was able to say, well, here's what I was saying, and she goes, well, I disagree with you, but okay. That's trust. People don't realize
they can come and talk to you afterwards, and maybe not in front of the whole team, but can ask what exactly you want from me, right?
Yeah, that's an always ongoing process, because there'll be times when they know sometimes I just yell to yell. I'm not gonna lie, and I tell them, but I'm also very honest with them. Like I come in and I'm in a bad mood at practice. Like I literally say, I'm in a bad mood. It is a fair warning. I do, and I think, but that comes from a trust of them too, to trust that they know, they understand, and that I trust that I can share what's going on with them, and I mean I trust them completely. And like I tell them, I'm not putting them out there because I don't trust them. I put them out there because I do, and they work hard. I absolutely love this group. They work their tails off. There's no quitting them.
You got these three seniors here, but we certainly want to mention some of the other ladies that are going to have an impact for you this year. Give us some names and who we should expect to see a lot from this year.
Definitely Brooke Anderson. I think we'll go as Brooke goes this year. We all know Chris can do her thing, and we all know Audrianna's always going to give us 1,000 miles an hour, but this team will probably go more along the lines of where Brooke goes. As long as she has a good season and takes care of the ball, she's really going to be a difference maker for us. A lot of times people think your best players where you go and come. No, your best player is going to always do their thing. They're going to get their points. They're going to get their rebounds. It's those other players that can really take you to that next level. And I think Brooke is probably one of the most important people for us, handling the ball. Jeracia Smith, how she plays this year will determine a lot of what happens with Chris and where we put her and how we use her more. Jackie Hansen, she actually had a pretty decent summer. She can come, she can block shots, she can do those things. Those
you guys
those
have a lot
right
of size in the middle, don't you?
Yeah, we blocked a whole ton of shots this past weekend. And Kristyn doesn't jump well. But
I don't foul. I don't like to block.
She doesn't like to foul, but we've got some good size. Tiana Hilliard, she's got to keep working hard and she's got to keep developing. Those are things that we've got to do. Those kids are going to make a big difference. But we've also got 3 young ones right now that are going to be putting in some minutes, and actually a 4th one that I may have moved up here in the last couple of days, and those young ones, Alyssa Madden, she had a great second half of the varsity season last year when she finally got some big minutes, and she had a great summer. She shoots it well. She's a bigger guard for us. Daniela Martinez inside in the post area. She's like the junior version of Audrianna here. They just go so hard, and they're going to be in foul trouble, but hey, it's worth it because they go so hard. Callista Jacob got some minutes with us last year. She's fighting for a spot right now. Asiana Herrera, she's actually played well this past weekend, and we just switched her jersey to black. The girls know what teams are on based on what color their jersey is, and so that change to black I think is a big deal for a lot of kids. But those girls right there, so we're not without options. And there's some young girls on JV that are going to fight for minutes all the time. Ayanna Harper's, one mental step away from being a varsity player, those things like that. But they all bring something to the table. They all bring and do something for us. They've got a lot of things. The younger ones still have a lot of things they got to learn, and hopefully they can learn it from these older girls.
Y'all are seniors, so certainly love to know what the plans are going forward. Audrianna, you want to continue playing soccer in college? That's the plan. Eastern, is that right? Is where you're going, or Southwest? Okay, I couldn't remember. So, have you signed yet, or okay? So you're ready to go. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what we want to hear. Do you know what you want to do in college yet, or have you?
I'm gonna get my major in kinesiology.
Okay, very good. And so is Kristyn.
I'm excited.
Kristyn, you already got your college plans figured out?
No,
but there are colleges looking at you, right?
Yeah, there are a few. I'm still deciding between javelin and basketball, so. I got some options to look at.
It's nice to have those options, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
And Carina, how about you? What's coming up for you after high school?
I'll probably just go to NMSU or UNM.
Okay.
Most likely.
Have an idea of what you want to do in college yet, or
no.
still working on that one? All right.
I get a kick. They make it seem like it's so bad. I'm gonna go to UNM. I'm gonna go to UNM or NMSU. like that's such a bad option.
Okay.
Like
go to NMSU. It's better.
Really?
I'm gonna throw this right here. And go UTEP. This is a standing battle right here.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Well, some people can't live up to the hype at UTEP.
Nobody can live up to the hype of the basketball program. They still think it's 1965.
Oh gosh. Don't remind me.
Don't remind you.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about expectations for this group this year. It is senior laden. You've got a lot of girls that have played multiple varsity years. Is this a year to take a step forward for you guys, you feel like?
Yes. Has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no expectation from us below that. It is take another step. It goes with the idea make the playoffs, but we got to do it one game at a time. That's probably the most that's the hardest part, because you look at your schedule and you know what you're looking at. You know what your battles. You know which games you expect to win. But the truth is, our focus needs to be on that one. So our expectation this year is definitely to be better than we were last year. To take that next step. What's that next step? We don't know. We got to take it first before we know that's what it is, because we could have a great season, and if you lose in the first round, and it didn't change from last year.
Yeah.
So the idea is one game at a time, to see what happens, and the expectation is to have a better year than we did last year.
District feel a little bit different this year. No Danny Williams out in Clovis, and Hobbs is obviously going to be good. Carlsbad's going to be very good, but it's still going to be a very tough district.
Still a very, very tough district. I mean, extremely tough. However, we're just as tough as everybody else. We just haven't gotten over that hump yet, finding ways to get the victories in district, and we're close. I mean, we can play everybody, and the girls know that. Some wins this summer, I'm sure, changed their mind a little bit. But we got to get there. We got to do it. You got to accomplish it, and you can talk about it and all, but you got to put it on the floor, and you got to get it done.
Audrianna, how about expectations for yourself, expectations for the team this year?
Expectations for myself is definitely to help out the team a lot more than I have in the past, offensively wise. Scoring, getting assists, and stuff like that. It definitely helps out a lot. For the team, I think definitely we know that we can compete in state and go far in state, and I think really that's the expectation with all of us, because we know we can, so it's our senior year. So.
Yeah. Kristyn, how about you? What are you looking for from your game and this team this year?
Well, for my game, I want to be able to help my team out like I have been doing. And last year I went through a little bit of a hump. Anyway, last year I went through a little bit of a hump towards the end of the season, and I wasn't scoring very much, wasn't playing my game. So I really want to make sure I stay level, and I want to break a few records this year. Actually, I have some goals. And for the team, I really do expect us to go far. I think we have the capability, we have the talent, and we have the mental ability to be able to go places. So.
Just so everybody knows what they were, Coach Sanchez and Audrianna are over here giving Kristyn a hard time about how she was talking with her hands and stuff. Just so you don't think we were just laughing at Kristyn.
Normally we do just laugh at Kristyn. Let's clarify that.
Kristyn's a little bit of the class clown of the team, a little bit. No,
a little bit.
A little bit. She like I was saying earlier, she just keeps the atmosphere light all the time. Like we have some funny stories about Chris with yelling at her, and then
not ones that she was put out on the radio though.
Well,
there might have been a crying moment, and
okay,
there might have been a crying moment, and there might have been me. Everyone thought I was trying to console her, but I may have been continually yelling just with my mouth shut, so no one could tell.
We were like walking off the court. He's like still yelling in my ear, and I'm like, "No, what? I'm still in trouble."
It was love yelling though. It was all out of love.
No, but and then a minute later, she's back to bubbly Chris, and
I got over it.
She just does a great job. She's fun.
Karina, how about you? I mean, what are you looking for from yourself and from this team this year?
Just to be the best teammate that I can be, and help. Same with Audrey and Chris, just to help out more offensively and defensively. But as a team, I don't know. We just always can go so far. Like, this is a year. I feel like if we're gonna go far, it's gonna be this year. And we're always so close to every team. We just have to execute it and stay continuously, be able to do it to the end. Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah, everybody wants that. That's why I'm on the radio. It's so I can talk with my hands. That's why I'm not doing
this. This is normal for us too. I want you to know. This is a lot of what you see outside of practice. This is why I say the chemistry is so much better. Constantly, people getting on people's cases. I turn around and ruin out once in a while, and I know they're laughing at me, and I'm just like, I'm gonna walk away because I don't want to know why. And she's making fun of me earlier, so that's actually where it started. I shake my foot a lot, and so Audrianna was actually pointing out that my leg was shaking, and so then it just went from there.
Yeah, so. This is how it goes in practice and in games and on the bus.
Actually, not at practice.
No. Practice is
one thing I love about them is that at practice there is a seriousness. It is something we take serious because we're there to get better. We're there to work, and I love that. I love that we're not fighting a silly team and always joking around in practice, because that wouldn't make us any better. The fact that the girls take practice serious and they work hard, but then we play hard too. We do have a lot of fun outside of practice. I do give them a hard time, and they give me a hard time, and I love them for it. They really do. So I don't want that to ever be hidden. They work their tails off at practice.
No. Well, we certainly wish the best of luck to all y'all this season, and Coach, appreciate it as always, and we'll look forward to see how the ladies do. Open up with Artesia. Good challenge to start the year?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll find out, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to worry about us.
Yeah.
I'm going to worry about us doing what we do, and I really feel like if we just do the things that we know how to do and we can do them, then we're the team that people have to worry about, not the other way around.
All right. Very good. All right. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.